Zara pressed her 6 fingers against the cool metal surface of the radar console. Her purple skin reflected the green glow of the scanning equipment as she stared at the impossible reading. The ship floating in the void beyond their asteroid mining station was unlike anything in the galactic database. For 300 years, her people, the Kethani, had heard whispers of a mythical species called humans. Stories told in dark corners of space stations about creatures with only 4 limbs who could survive in impossible conditions. Beings who refused to surrender even when facing certain death. Most considered these tales nothing more than spacer legends designed to frighten young ones. But there it was on her screen. A vessel that matched none of the known ship designs from the 17 civilized species. The hull appeared to be constructed from primitive metals, yet somehow it had traveled through the dangerous nebula surrounding their system without any visible damage. Zara's communication device buzzed with an incoming message from her supervisor, Keltar, the station commander. Her heart raced as she realized she would have to report this discovery. The old Kethani male had little patience for what he called foolish mysteries. Before she could respond, the unknown ship began transmitting on multiple frequencies. The signals were unlike anything she had studied in her communications training. They seemed almost chaotic, yet there was an underlying pattern that suggested intelligence. She activated the universal translator, hoping it might recognize something from the transmissions. Static filled her headset for several moments before words began to form. The voice was strange, deeper than most species. She knew with an odd rhythm. The transmission said they were explorers from a planet called Earth, seeking peaceful contact with any intelligent life. They claimed to be human and requested permission to dock for repairs and resupply. Zara nearly fell from her chair as she heard the word human spoken aloud. Her training told her to immediately alert the defense systems. Any unknown vessel could pose a threat to their mining operation. But something about the calm tone of the transmission made her hesitate. These beings sounded tired, not aggressive. They spoke of exploration and discovery, not conquest. Zara made a decision that would change everything. She opened a communication channel to the human ship. Her voice trembled as she spoke, in the common galactic language, hoping their translator would understand. She identified herself as Communications Officer Zara of Mining Station Keth 7 and asked them to state their intentions. The response came quickly in that same deep voice. The human introduced himself as Captain Ryan Mitchell of the exploration vessel Horizon. He explained that they had been traveling for many months, seeking new worlds and civilizations. Their ship had suffered damage crossing the nebula, and they desperately needed supplies and repair materials. Zara found herself fascinated by the way this Captain Mitchell spoke. There was a strength in his voice that reminded her of the old stories her grandmother used to tell, tales of humans who fought impossible battles and never gave up even when facing armies 10 times their size. Against all protocols, she told the human ship they could dock at the station's emergency port. She would meet them there to assess their needs and determine if they posed any threat. The captain thanked her with genuine warmth in his voice. As she prepared to leave her post, Zara realized she was about to become the first of her kind to see a human face to face. The stories described them as strange beings with hair growing from their heads and skin in various shades of brown and pink. They supposedly had only 2 eyes instead of the 4 that most civilized species possessed. The walk to the emergency dock felt like the longest journey of her life. Her purple skin had taken on a darker shade as anxiety coursed through her system. What if the humans were as dangerous as some stories suggested? What if they were nothing like the peaceful explorers they claimed to be? When the airlock cycled open, Zara held her breath. 3 figures stepped through the threshold and she saw humans for the first time. The captain was tall with dark skin and short black hair growing from his head. Just as the stories described, he had only 2 eyes. But they were bright and intelligent. Behind him walked a female human with lighter skin and long yellow hair that seemed to float around her shoulders. The third was another male with pale skin and red hair that caught the station lights strangely. All 3 moved with a fluid grace that surprised her. Captain Mitchell stepped forward and removed something from his head, revealing more of his hair in what appeared to be a gesture of respect. He smiled. showing white teeth, and extended one of his four-fingered hands toward her. Zara had never seen a smile before. Her people communicated emotion through color changes in their skin, but somehow, she understood that this expression indicated friendliness and peaceful intentions. She tentatively reached out with her own six-fingered hand. The moment their hands touched, she felt the warmth of human skin. It was softer than she expected, and the contact sent an unexpected thrill through her nervous system. The captain's grip was gentle but firm, conveying both strength and control. He introduced his companions as Dr. Lisa Parker, the ship's medical officer, and engineer Sam Carter, who would handle the repair work. All three humans looked tired and worn from their long journey, but their eyes held something Zara had never seen before. It was hope mixed with determination and an unshakable will to continue no matter what obstacles they faced. This was the legendary human spirit she had heard about in whispered stories. The thing that made them different from every other species in the galaxy. As she led them through the station corridors, Zara noticed how the humans observed everything with intense curiosity. They asked questions about the Kethani technology and culture, showing genuine interest in learning. Dr. Parker was particularly fascinated by the differences in their biology. When they reached the station's common area, other Kethani workers stopped their tasks to stare at the strange visitors. Word spread quickly through the facility, and soon a small crowd had gathered. Zara could see fear and wonder mixing in her people's expressions. Captain Mitchell addressed the gathering in his calm, strong voice. He spoke of Earth and humanity's dream of finding friends among the stars. He told them about human achievements and failures, describing a species that refused to be limited by obstacles. The humans had survived wars, diseases, and natural disasters that would have destroyed other civilizations. They had learned to work together despite their differences and had developed technology through determination rather than natural gifts. As the captain spoke, Zara realized why the stories of humans had persisted for so long. These beings represented something that other species lacked. They possessed an inner fire that drove them to attempt the impossible and often succeed. Dr. Parker began sharing medical knowledge with the station's health officer, explaining human biology and offering treatments for conditions that had puzzled Kethani doctors for generations. Engineer Carter worked with the maintenance crew, sharing techniques that could improve their mining equipment. Over the following days, as the human ship underwent repairs, Zara spent every free moment with the visitors. She learned about Earth's diverse cultures and the long journey that had brought them to Kethani space. Captain Mitchell told her about the courage required to leave everything behind and venture into the unknown. The humans shared stories of their homeworld with its blue skies and vast oceans. Dr. Parker described creatures that lived in Earth's seas, while Engineer Carter explained how humans had learned to fly despite having no wings. The more Zara learned, the more she understood why humans had become legend. When the time came for departure, the entire station gathered to say goodbye. The Kethani had grown fond of their human visitors, who had shared knowledge freely and treated everyone with respect. Captain Mitchell thanked Zara personally for her courage in allowing them to dock. As the human ship prepared to leave, Zara realized that her life had changed forever. She had touched something extraordinary and would never be the same. The myths and legends had been true, but the reality was even more remarkable than the story suggested. She watched from the observation deck as the horizon powered up its engines and slowly moved away from the station. The humans were continuing their journey, carrying with them new friendships and the knowledge that they were no longer alone in the universe. Captain Mitchell's final transmission thanked the Kethani for their hospitality and promised that other human ships would remember this kindness. Zara knew that this first contact would be remembered by both species for generations to come. As the human ship disappeared into the starfield, Zara touched the communication device the captain had given her. It would allow direct contact with Earth when the time was right. She had become the bridge between two worlds, and the responsibility both thrilled and frightened her. The myths had been real all along. Humans existed, and they were everything the stories claimed and more. They were explorers and dreamers who refused to accept limitations. Zara had seen the future, and it included both species learning from each other. Standing alone at the observation window, she made a silent promise to remember every detail of this encounter. The galaxy had become a larger, more wonderful place, and she had been privileged to witness the moment when legend became reality. The stars seemed brighter now, knowing that somewhere among